Hey there, welcome to or welcome back to No Pants Profits. My name is Richard and I'm here today with you for day 5 as far as I call it, day 6 as far as Globus calls it, of the Polish escape. Now, the videos we've made before have been pretty upbeat and interesting and cool. This video is going to be very, very different today. Very, very difficult to make. We are headed to Auschwitz. It's also why I have on a much more muted Hawaiian shirt today. A lot of what you're going to hear in this video today is going to be me voicing over the video afterwards. This hotel we are leaving today is absolutely miserable. Every time I've gotten in and out of my room, I've had to get a new room key. So, yeah, thanks there. But, yeah, it's been difficult. It's going to be difficult. So you're not going to hear from me live for a large majority of this day. I'm going to take photos. My camera's acting weird. I'm going to take photos. I'm going to take videos. And then I'm going to voice over them after the fact. But I want to welcome you to join me along as we go to Auschwitz, Birkenau, and then eventually make it to Krakow. And I promise you tomorrow will be a much more upbeat day at the salt mines, and we're going to skip around and go to a theme park. So to join along with me, well, my camera has done weird things. Join along with me as I drink this beetroot red drink. We take, oh God, that's terrible. And we take a 2-hour ride to Auschwitz, and like I said, I'll be with you in voiceover, but not live for a majority of the day, just due to the environment that I'm going to be in. So, hope you join along. This is going to be a tough day, emotionally and everything like that. But tomorrow is only a day away, where we get to see a really cool salt mine, and we're going to break off from the group and go to Energylandia, Poland's largest theme park. So, stick around. Rough day ahead. Sorry, but important at the same time. So we made it to Auschwitz. We are out front, and I will tell you what is incredible is this place is still filled with buses. Even in the off season, I want to show you, like, every bus parking spot is full by 10:30 in the morning. So it's pretty insane. I mean, there's our Globus bus parking right now, but there's like no free bus parking. There doesn't seem to be a low season here, which is pretty crazy to think of, that there's not actually a low season at this, I hate to say tourist attraction, but tourist attraction doesn't really have a low season. Again, I'm going to take a lot of stuff on my phone now. We're not allowed to bring in bags or anything. Also of note, you must bring ID that matches your name on your ticket. I have a ticket with my name. I guess there's like scalpers selling Auschwitz tickets or something like that. But we're going to go in. We've got a guided tour. Again, this will probably be the last time you hear me live. You're just going to see facing forward, and I will narrate through it a little bit later. But yeah, this is by far the busiest thing we've seen since we've actually been in Poland. So I'll see you in post-production. What's the expression? We'll do it in the edit now. So a few more notes before we go on the site. You do have to go through like airport level security, first of all. And second of all, I forgot my other note. Oh, they're splitting us up from 44 down to 22. So we have a more manageable group size once we're inside. It's time to go through security. You can't bring a bag or anything. I'm traveling very light today. No 360 camera or anything like that. Just purely with the group. No bag, no camera, nothing like that. Also of note, like a lot of big tourist attractions, the ladies' toilet line is a lot longer than the men's one. So the men's go real quick, and the ladies take a little bit longer. Just saying. So prepare that extra time, or if you can hold your bladder, hold it. It also looks like, just getting through security, that you can't really roam around yourself. They have set tour times for the different languages, for Polish, Italian, English. They have set tour times for everyone. So if you do come here on your own, I think you have to take a tour to kind of see what's going on. You can't go wander Auschwitz on your own. All right, so I am back in my hotel after Auschwitz, and I want to talk you through it. I didn't do any narration during the tour because I really, truly do want to just talk you through it. So what this is, this corridor, they're actually reading the names of the people who were killed at Auschwitz and the second camp, Auschwitz II or Birkenau, as you're going in. The entire visitors complex is actually not on the property. You go down, and then you come up, and then you enter the area of the concentration camp. But there's some areas before you enter the actual camp. There's these directional signs all over, and there's a lot of plaques that are thanking different countries for being involved. So it's giving you all of these things. You'll see these are the different countries and companies that are involved. You'll see the site is preserved for future generations, and you've got all those countries. You can pause it if you want to read them all. All those countries that are involved in helping to maintain it. So these are the soldiers' barracks. We are not inside of the camp yet. There might be some duplicate photos here and there, but this is just every photo I took. You can pause at any time. This is just showing how people got to Auschwitz. Everything's in English, in Hebrew, and in Polish. So you can kind of see there again. There might be a couple duplicate photos. That's another look at the actual barracks that the soldiers were in at the time. So here's a bit more of the officers' houses on our way to the gate, and you kind of see the SS officers. That is the first of the watchtowers. It's really like lifted straight out of the movies, and then this is the main gate. I don't mean lifted out of the movies in a strange way. I mean like they did such a good job in movies like Schindler's List and those like that. You also notice it is pretty quiet. That's the main barbed wire fence, the double barbed wire fence. You can read some info on it if you want to pause it. But you walk in through that barbed wire fence where the guard towers are. That used to be the entrance and the exits actually for the officers. It's a kind of an eerie sight walking through that gate. That is the best, one of the best well-known things till we get a little bit later in the actual video here. And you can kind of see the gate from all the different angles because that's the super duper famous gate right there. So a couple more shots of the gate from some different perspectives because again, that's like a very well-known thing there. And we're going to get into the first building in a minute. I was just kind of fascinated in those. I think that's a reproduction. But, you know, they were in the watchtowers waiting to execute if someone was trying to get out. So there's a lot of buildings on site. We're now inside of the camp. We're often displayed there as a warning sign to others. That is where they had the band. They actually had the German band, and they had a band that played there, and they would use it in different ways. Now you see another watchtower, and what we're going to head towards is the first building, which is going to be Block 4. Block 4 means Building 4. I guess I took a lot of pictures of that guard tower. Block 4 means Building 4. And you kind of see us going, and you'll see how quiet it is. Even though outside there were a lot of buses, that's our group. Again, we split the group. We're a group of 44. Split it into 22 and 22. That's our group, and you don't see any other groups around. I can't even imagine what this place looks like in the middle of the summer in the high season. Well, I mean, I can imagine it, but I don't really want to imagine it. But you'll see these are all the blocks. Block just means building. A lot of these are just kind of hollowed out on the inside. I think, we went into 3 buildings. There we go. Zoom in on the guard tower again. We went into 3 buildings over our time there. And you'll see it's got that sign as well, just like the sign that came in, saying, if you decide you want to escape, we're going to shoot you. So I believe the next building we're going into here is into Block 4, which they kind of stripped out and turned into a museum of sorts. Remember that should you want to read at any time any of the signs, feel free to pause and you'll see them in full quality there. They're just kind of showing you what it was like, what the streets were like. That's Block 15, so that's Building 15. We didn't go inside that one. But I think the first building we went inside was Building 4. And we've got our group right there, wearing masks outside. Very smart. And that's a map of the camp. Yeah. And another look at the map of the concentration camp right there. Auschwitz and Auschwitz II, or Birken, which we're going to go to later. And this is Block 4. We are entering the first building here. This is more of a bunch of pictures and a bunch of history. We'll kind of talk through it a little bit as I see it. Remember, those that don't remember the past are condemned to remember it. That is, Auschwitz is kind of in the center of all of Europe, and that's why it was actually put there. That's giving you the number of Jews and Poles and everything free. And these are statements that the SS has actually said. So the security guard, Secret Service, whatever you want to call it, they were originally Hitler's security, and then they became running these camps. That's a picture actually from the camp. These are ashes that were found in on site. Again, that other picture. These pictures are gigantic, and they're very striking. That picture must have struck me enough to take a picture of it 3 times. Again, this gives you a timeline of when people really started showing up there. And these are actual pictures, most of them. You'll see some drawings a bit later, which were actually drawn by people who escaped, of things that the guards would not take pictures of, torture and stuff like that. But these areas you actually see later on. When we make it over to the other side of the camp, which is where people came in on the trains and stuff like that, you'll see. Now, originally, they came in on a train and had to walk. So that's them walking. But they made it to a point later in time that they actually just ended on the train. And you see, there's the train station. And it's going to talk about, you had the women and the children and the men separated. And they take them in on the train station. And basically, they would send the women and children to the gas chambers. And there was a doctor who would actually start separating the men. I don't think we're there quite yet. But this is everybody coming in. This is actually Budapest. What was interesting that we learned is they actually made some people pay for their tickets. And you could see, on the train to get there. These were not normal train cars. These were actually cattle cars that they were putting people in. These images will look familiar a bit later on. But that's where they've separated the women and children from the men. And there's the doctor who's figuring out, see that man with the cane? He likely went right to the gas chamber. The kids, unless they were, going to grow fast and be strong, they went right to the gas chamber. There's the train cars coming in. And then this is the extermination method. So this is talking about how they split people up. They sent some to the woods, stripped them down. That's burning bodies there. And they talked about the crematoriums, just so you can kind of see this is a model of the crematorium. So you've got a model of the crematorium right there. And we're going to actually go in a crematorium a bit later on, but you see that's just the bodies piling up, as well as the gas that they use, the model of the gas chamber and the crematorium. That's Cylon B, and there's multiple tins of Cylon B we're going to see in a second right here. Canisters which contain Cylon B. It's a pesticide used for killing the victims. One of the few things I can't actually show you, they did let us see the room where they tried this for the first time. I will show you the room where they did it over and over and over. But this is interesting. Where it said no photos was actually human hair. We weren't able to take photos of the human hair. Yeah, textiles made of the hair from women murdered in their chambers. So now we've left that block 4. And we're going to block 5, I believe. And block 5 is a little bit interesting. It's the proof of crimes. So those are actually glasses from people that they took when they came in. Eyeglasses. So we also have shawls that they took when they run on board. And wait till you see some of these other items. It's kind of crazy. Those are Jewish prayer shawls. The other items get crazier. These are just pictures of items. The hair brushes they confiscated. I think those are hair brushes as well. Those are shoes. But trust me, we're going to see shoes in a minute like you would not believe it. Those are clothing and other textiles. Again, these are pictures of pictures. These are crutches, artificial limbs, things like that. These are physically there. These are not pictures of those things. They are behind glass, and they are actually actively, physically there. You can just kind of see them. They're almost 100 years old. Still in respectively good condition, I must say. but it's kind of astounding and a little overwhelming at the same time. And wait until you see what's coming up in about a minute's time. It's even crazier than this. You'll see there's your artificial body parts right there. Just kind of walking through. You'll see that cast, crutches. They took them off and collected them for some reason before they did the cremation. Maybe they thought that provide some value to their soldiers. Next up, we have even more personal items. You'll see this huge selection of personal items here, and it's just incredibly amazing. It shows you the true scale. This is basically a garbage dumpster full of artifacts that people brought with them because they thought they were going on vacation. They didn't really know where they were going. And this is the shoes. These are the shoes. I have seen pictures. This is a pile of 80,000 shoes. So 40,000 people's shoes. Luggage. This is the luggage. Again, they thought they were going on vacation. They did what we do nowadays by writing our name on a luggage tag. They wrote it on the luggage. It's really crazy. And then artifacts like shoes, like kids' clothing, things of that sort. More kids' clothing. It's truly insane to look. And this is real. These are not pictures. These are here, but they're behind glass. The preservation is amazing, and this is actually in like a barrack. These are the shoes. You can see the shoes right there. Again, the only thing we couldn't show you so far was the hair. For some reason, I guess because it's technically human remains, they ask you not to show the hair. But you'll see shoes, both sides just completely filled with shoes. There were millions killed there. That is only 80,000 shoes. So 40,000 pairs of shoes, which is an absurd number. And it's something I'm sure if you've ever read about the Holocaust in a textbook, you've actually seen those shoes. I know I have. I've seen pictures of those shoes many times. Again, we talked about the luggage. Here's another look at the luggage. They wrote their names on the luggage, all kinds of different sizes. It literally looks like a airport lost baggage facility. But from, times before there were a lot of commercial airports. You got other artifacts too. We looked at that shoe in a photo. We looked at some child's clothing and other stuff like that. It really is... It's quite a collection, and anybody who were to deny that this happened, deny that this existed, is just absolutely batshit crazy. Because it's very, very hard, impossible to deny it after seeing this collection, after seeing who's gonna fake this many bags, who's gonna fake. I'm not saying I'm one, but anybody who denies it, you see 80,000 shoes. Where else in the world, other than maybe like a Nike factory, are you ever going to see 80,000 shoes in the same place at the same time? It's crazy. These luggages have the people's names on it still that were being called out in that hallway when we walked in, the victims. It's incredible. It's scary. The scale of it is massive, and it's really disturbing overall. So then we have some more perspectives of just kind of looking at the watchtowers from between the buildings. It's been represented so well in, I hate to say the word popular culture, but, it felt like I'd been there before a lot of this. You'll see some drawings showing what they used to do in the streets. Moving bodies. These are not pictures because they didn't want to show that in pictures. They talked about the amount of food that they did or didn't get. They got just a handful of a bread and some black water. And you see, we're walking. Again, this is our group. These are the big buildings to the left and to the right. We've got big buildings, essentially the barracks there. Not the barracks. The barracks are for the soldiers. You've got these big buildings. Now we're going to go inside one building. So this one is not going to be restored it's going to be kind of exactly what it looks like, and I'm able to show you everything in this building except the bottom floor. The bottom floor of the building we're headed to is actually the first place they tested the gas chambers for the first time. So we are not allowed to show the cells and the torture stuff in the bottom building. You kind of have to go there yourself to see it. The only thing we couldn't shoot was the hair and that bottom building. Everything else was kind of free game. But you could see literally all you see in the picture is our group of 22 people, which is kind of insane that it's that slow. But also, I mean, it is. It was raining and almost freezing. But you'll see again. You've got the pictures right there. Those were actually made by people who escaped. There was only about 10,000 people there when the war was over and it was liberated, and a lot of them drew pictures of their time there because, yeah, there were things that the SS or Hitler's police would actually take pictures of, but they're obviously not going to take pictures of things that are going to implicate them. And I thought it was weird to hear there that it's weird that the Boys of Brazil were a real thing. So this is a firing squad. And these are pictures, that's actually a drawing of how the firing squad was. And we actually got to see where they did the firing squad. And you'll see there's a memorial set up. That's the actual place they did it. They got the flag flying right there. That is the place that the firing squad was. Right there in that image. So everything we've seen so far, so you got that building there. Everything we've seen so far has pretty much been a museum. You know, they've dressed it up and they made it like a museum. What we're about to see is actually exactly how these barracks actually were. There's myself with one of the watchtowers. We've got to have some evidence that you were somewhere. So Block 11. This one has not been restored. So, I mean, it's not been fixed up into a museum. Again, I found the watchtowers, fascinating, I guess is the right word. I was looking for a word. So this is Block 11 or Building 11. This is exactly how it looked. And these are showing you where they held court. That's where the SS officer would be. That's the SS officer's desk. You'll see the rooms for people. They kept them 100 to a room. Again, this is kind of technical and accounting positions. That's where the court was that would decide someone's fate. So you can read these placards. You can pause at any time. This is the kind of place where the prisoners actually slept. You know, they murdered and died during the last days of the operation. That's where they slept. Those are not reproductions. That's like the original materials that they were sleeping on, which is kind of sort of really crazy. Judge at summary court. This is kind of the bed situation. They had 100 people that would sleep in bunk beds there. Kind of crazy. Habitable room. And habitable room for prisoners who are performing duties in Barrack 11. So if they were doing duties, they'd have, a slightly better room. And this is a washroom, a bathroom. And you can see women stripped. Yeah, women and men who've been sentenced to death were stripped in this room. And after this, we went downstairs. That's where the actual chambers are that everyone was tortured in, and where the first gas chambers were. Now we're going to walk through the camp just a little bit more. You're free to read these signs. These are more drawings that were made by the prisoners after they were liberated. And the ground is all original too. That's kind of the interesting thing. Those are the gallows. That's where they would hang people. Again, another picture of the gallows where they would hang people. You can pause at any time to read these. This is where the guards would be when it rained outside. And where we're slowly making our way towards the gas chamber and the crematorium. So in Auschwitz 1, they actually only, they had to bring them over here. The train didn't come right over here. Auschwitz 2 or Birkenau had the train come over. We're going out of another exit where the barbed wire fence is. Another watchtower. Again, I mean, those are the creepiest things to me, is the watchtower and the barbed wire fences, because those are the things that you intrinsically know. Those are the things you've seen in, dare I say, popular culture. We're walking through these things. You can see this barbed wire fence. I'm going to get up really close to it. This is the original barbed wire electrified fence. It's just really kind of creepy, because this is separating what this fence is doing. This is separating the officers' barracks from the from the prisoners' barracks, so they couldn't get through, bother the officers when they're off shift and things like that. So we're still inside of the actual prisoner area of the concentration camp, kind of working our way towards the outside, which is where you have the gas chamber and the crematorium. So again, a couple more pictures there, because I do find that actually absolutely fascinating, that watchtower. Looking back as well, this is all original brickwork, and it was a double fence. So you had a double fence, another watchtower, and we finally left the actual concentration camp coming up right here. This is something that, very few people that were here ever got to survive and got to do, was to walk through. You'll see your double fences right there. You see a guard tower everywhere the fence opens up. And they would just shoot them on demand. Now, it's a dreary, rainy day, which I hate to say is the best kind of day to actually go, but kind of fits with the mood of all these different things that we saw today. And now we're getting to the gas chambers and the crematorium. So this is where they would gas in mass. They would drop the gas down through the ceiling, and then right next door they would have the ovens to burn. There are actually, I think, 4 ovens that are still there. That's where they would drop the gas down from the ceiling. They'd pack that with people. Then you'd continue on that way, just like the tours, unfortunately. And once you continued on that way, there's the ovens. I mean, that's the ovens that they were burning the bodies in. They would just put them there and slide them. That's all the original racks, all the original ovens. The preservation of that is quite amazing. And you can see the floor had tracks in it, so they can move many bodies at once. Now, this is the entire experience. It's only a minute or so long of going through the gas chamber and then going through the crematorium. So I mean, this is it's probably the actually we went through the exit, but this is probably actually like the creepiest part of the tour right here. They asked us not to speak, but they said we could take photos, we could take video. So I took photos, I took video, and you can kind of see this is the gas chamber right here. They would tell people they're going to take a shower. These are the showers. These are the showers you hear of in history. Oh, you're going to the shower. They stripped naked outside. They went inside here naked to actually take a shower. And then there were holes in the ceiling that the gas would come down from. And like I said, they figured out how much gas to use in that building we were in that I couldn't show you the video. They actually had the rooms that they would, they filled the bottom floor. They filled with people and they gassed them. It's kind of strange that they're okay with you taking photos and videos here, but not there. But there must be some significance to the first group. That's the hole where the gas would come down. And then we're going to go into the crematorium, which was literally right here. And there's the ovens that are left there. And they have just the ovens there, but if you look at the next set of ovens, which is I'm gonna pan slowly to the left, you've actually got the racks that they would be able to slide the bodies into the oven. And you've got on the floor those tracks like I was talking about, so they can move multiple heavy bodies around. Those are some clear, perfect images of them, not from a video still. Very, very interesting kind of moving experience. And yeah, that's the building where they did it. We're about to head out the same way we headed in, going under and pretty much going to a visitor's complex. That's the exit. I'm recording this about 2-3 hours after leaving, before I'm taking a nap and heading out later in the evening. We've made it to Krakow, but that was it's interesting. It's something that I think everyone has to see. And yeah, you can do these fun activities at night, like I'm doing in Poland too. But if you're gonna go, this is kind of a place you've got to go to. You've got to see, and you've got to kind of have the exposure towards what you're seeing there. And I think that's really important there, is to have that exposure. And they had an ability to actually put a little bit of a deposit. Zlotskis are divided by 4. Give a little donation. I thought it was so well maintained. I think I gave 10 Zlotskis. So, you can click it. And you can Apple Pay. I have not taken out my physical credit card this entire time. I actually did it in the lobby of this hotel I'm recording the voiceover on now to pay for the extra excursions that I've got, but it took a little while to authorize. 10 Zlotskis is like $4, $5, somewhere around there. $4 and change. We paid for the ticket as well. And remember, they do... The ticket has to match your name, and I learned that's because they actually do an anti-terrorism scanning there. But let's follow up now. So we are headed out now after about 2 hours, and I'm not gonna lie, that was an experience. Very interesting experience. I was able to show you everything except a few things. Pretty much what I wasn't able to show you was human remains and where they first used the gas. I was able to show you some of that building, but I wasn't able to show you where they first used the gas. I provided it mostly without commentary, except for where you might have needed it. It was amazing. It looks, I guess the thing is, if you've ever seen a movie about it, it's so accurate. The movies are so accurate to it. Schindler's List, things like that, are so incredibly accurate. Seeing the guard tower, seeing the barbed wire, seeing all that as it is. We're in the gift shop now, which is not actually in the camp. They built kind of a tunnel underneath, but it's interesting. The quote that we saw at the beginning, I think, is the most fitting. If you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it. One of the things that Globus says about this is that, all Germans have to visit this place or a similar place in Germany as part of their schooling, because they have to learn about, kind of what happened. Seeing the whole process. The museum is fantastic, but I don't know if they call it a museum. It's not really even a museum. I guess it's a museum in the traditional sense, but everything's still here. Everything's still original. Those first few buildings we went in were essentially, they took the buildings on the outside. All that's been replaced there are the roofs, and they added some grass. Yeah, it's creepy. It's creepy. I'm not gonna lie. And I think in the U.S. specifically, people throw around the N-word, not the Nazi word, far too much, and don't really comprehend what went on here. Haven't seen it firsthand. In the end of the day, I don't mean to get political, but the people who raided the Capitol on January 6th were not this type of Nazis, and I think it degrades the word to say that. They were just some angry Republicans. They weren't Nazis. I think this is why the N-word has become well too loosely used, because people don't really understand what's going on here. So we are going to be going to Birkenau, which is only like a 25-minute visit. I don't know what's really over there, but I'm going to bring you a little bit of a look at Birkenau, and then I think we have the rest of the day to ourselves. So come along to Birkenau, and then we're supposed to have a little snack there, and then we're going to Krakow. And I think we have the rest of the day to ourselves in Krakow, so we're going to go out and explore Krakow, because why the hell not wouldn't we go out and explore Krakow? But stay tuned. We have one more part of this Auschwitz area to talk about. And as we're leaving, look at these lines. They're getting even longer than when we originally came in. And this is in the off season. This is in a rainy October where it's like a few degrees away from becoming snow. And just look at the number of people coming here to go in when it's a few degrees away from snow. So we saw Auschwitz, and now we head to Birkenau, which is Auschwitz 2. And a lot of people were like, where is that iconic image? And there it is. That is probably the image that people know of the Holocaust more than anything else. That entrance to Auschwitz 2, and you can step on the train tracks. There's literally no restrictions in Auschwitz. So, if you, other than, photographing human remains that exist, there's no restrictions and there's no real crowds. I think that's what's impressive. It was a rainy day, but this is kind of the best day to see it because it kind of fits with the mood. Again, it's kind of a mood-killing day, but it's something that I think everybody kind of needs to see at the same time. It's an interesting perspective there, but all the train tracks there are original, and those are where they were sorting people. Not like the Harry Potter sorting hat, but sorting them to either work or to die. And the expression you have on your face here is just kind of how you're feeling right now. Everything else was like a smile or something like that. You can't really smile when you're here. It's kind of screwed up if you're smiling, huh? It's tough. I took a bunch of pictures just to kind of remember being there. And I apologize that it's showing my face over and over, but And then this last plaque here, you can kind of see when this camp was open. But I want to give you a little bit more from the site. So this right here behind me is the site you probably think of when you think of Auschwitz. This is actually Auschwitz 2. It's called Birkenau, and it was the expansion of the original concentration camp. So you'll see right there, that's where the train would arrive. We got the platform and everything like that. But these train tracks, they go into nowhere now. But originally, it's like grown up overbrush now. But originally they connected the two camps together. So, yeah. And this is just so you can see it from the other perspective without me in the image. It is a pretty haunting image. Honestly, truthfully, it is a quite haunting image because millions of people came here through these gates. This is where, if you remember earlier, we were talking about how they separated people, left, right, and they went to the work camp and chambers. It was done right here. It was done on the platform where the train arrives, right here, which is a lot of bit crazy, but interesting that it's so well preserved. I think this is all that's actually here, because the rest of it actually got destroyed after World War II. There's some reconstructed stuff there, but it's not nearly as built up as Auschwitz 1. So right now, I am legitimately on the original train tracks here, taking some 360 video. These are the original tracks. Some of the wood has been replaced due to rotting, but these are the original tracks that they brought in millions of people on. The fact that, you can just walk these tracks is pretty crazy. This is the actual place where they did the sorting. If you've ever seen Schindler's List or any of those movies about the Holocaust, this is literally where it happened. Historically, it's fascinating. And we're going to have a 360 compilation so you can really look around all this. Because right now, it's hard for you to tell. You see, that's where they did the sorting for the gas chambers, stuff like that. Right behind me is the main entrance. It's all right here. It's impressive because, I don't mean this in a mean way. It looks like a movie set because the movies did such a good job. This is, what this reminds me of? I'm not trying to disrespect in any way, but this reminds me of when I went to a country that I'd been to in Epcot in Disney many times before, and seeing how this is not a recreation. This is the original thing. But I'm complimenting the recreation that's been done in every movie I've ever seen about the Holocaust, and how this looks exactly like that. And yes, it's 1 degree above freezing here. And I'm wearing a Hawaiian shirt, but at least I am wearing some pants today. So, yeah, you see the fences and everything like that. This is incredibly preserved, and truly incredible to actually see hands-on. Anybody who denies the Holocaust has to be kind of crazy, after coming to a place like this. Like, this right here is where they unloaded people, sorted them, and gassed people, or sent them over to the other, this is Auschwitz 2, Birkenau, but sent them over to Auschwitz 1 to work. This was all built by the people that were prisoners here. It's crazy. This is crazy. It's insane. You can see, if you look, the buildings, a lot of them are destroyed here because when the war ended, they destroyed this camp, but left the other camp just to see historically what was going on there. So interesting. Here are some of the barracks over at the Birkenau side, and you'll see these are just like farms, like stables. Kind of crazy. They didn't build them up nearly as much as the buildings were in the original camp, because guess what? They didn't need people to be here for a long time. They were here for a couple hours, and they did what they did with them. They're restoring these. You can see this is actually a restoration in progress. Most of these barracks are not actually original. A couple of the pieces are original, but a lot of this is wood. Wood is not going to last that long. So a lot of the pieces have been replaced. And I guess the question is, it's kind of like the question of, like, if you start replacing parts of a boat, when is the boat no longer the original boat? There's a paradox. Maybe I'll put the name of that paradox on there. But you'll see they had the guard towers and everything right here too. So it is all right here. This is just the smaller version, and we're actually leaving right now. Only spent about 20 minutes here, and then we're gonna have lunch, and we've got a 2-hour ride to our hotel in Krakow. So I'm just finishing at Auschwitz 2, and you know, that's not a place to make jokes and stuff like that, but there's a hot dog truck outside. We got a ride to our hotel, and they had 2 different types of hot dogs. They had the cheese hot dog and the chili hot dog. And when someone asks, would you like a cheese hot dog or chili hot dog, you generally just say a chili cheese hot dog, but the stuff's inside, so we're gonna do why not both. So strangely, this is a review of the hot dogs in the hot dog trailer. The girls here, they're trying to get a trip to California. They're saving in their tip bucket. I'm actually gonna go put 50 Zlotskis in their California bucket, but let's try them. Oh, that's good. The chili's better than the cheese. When you finish at Auschwitz 2, Birkenau, stop by a little food truck here. Get yourself a hot dog. So we made it to our hotel in Krakow, and this is actually a really cool hotel. The bed, like, lights up. It's called the INX Design Hotel, I believe. Let me make sure. Oh. Yep. The INX Design Hotel. It's funky. I like it. It's really cool. It's really hip. It's really unique. It's really funky. And it's got, let's see if it's got a good view of the city. Someone left the window open, which is cool. I was going to do that anyway. Because, you know, can't open it that much. Sorry, I had my beer last night. But, oh my God. This is so cool. Look at this. I can even, like, oh my God. I love this. Look. I can change the colors of the lamps. Maybe. That's so cool. I love these. All the people who are here in this group are not going to understand how the hell that even works. But I love it. We got to look at the bathroom. Look, I can turn them on. I can go to pink. It's like, I feel like the print, the little fairies from Cinderella. It's like, make it red. Make it green. Make it blue. Make it white. Whoa. White is strong. Make it blue or purple. Make it orange. That's my favorite color. That's where I'm going to leave it. Awesome looking hotel here. I have to say, I am impressed. This hotel is funky. And I'm liking funky right now. And we're going to do this in the mirror, so I don't have to stop the recording. Because my other camera got really weird. We're done for the night. It's 5 p.m. here. Why am I done for the night? Well, because all the Globus activities done for the night. What am I going to do? I'm going to take you along, go get some kebab or something like that? Forget that. Well, I found something. I'm not doing it in this video, but I'll show it to you. It's called Krakow, what was it called? It's called Crawl Through Krakow. It is a bar crawl, and you crawl through Krakow, and that's what we're going to do for the late night video tonight. I will tell you, it's like the cheapest thing ever. The cheapest bar crawl has 1 hour of unlimited drinks at the beginning and a shot everywhere we go of vodka, of beer, of something like that. And where's my wallet? I think it was like $22. Yeah, $22.80. So you really can't beat that. So this is Richard closing off his day 5 of Adventures by Globus, Polish Escape, or Globus's day 6. And I gotta take a nap because this pub crawl goes from 9 p.m., so 4 hours from now, 9 p.m., 4 hours from now, all the way till 3 a.m. And my wake-up call tomorrow morning is 6:30 a.m. Tomorrow we're going to the salt mine, which is an optional tour offered on this Globus trip, and we're going to skip the afternoon activity. I do have a spy, well, not a spy, another fellow traveler who's going to give me some info and pictures on the afternoon activity. I can tell you about it, but we are going to the biggest theme park in Poland, but it's a pretty big theme park in Europe called Energylandia. This is a during the tour extracurricular activity, but it's something I want to do, and I think you all will enjoy. We're going to do a guide for fat people, see if that park's good for fat people. There's haunted houses for Halloween. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to bring you content from there. This is really weird. This is like Mirrorception. Watch, I can do like this. I'm going to bring you content from there. I like this bathroom. This is really cool. I can't wait to shoot the next 2 mornings in this bathroom because it's going to be like there's 3 of me. But this is Richard from No Pants Profits. Reminding you, we did Auschwitz today. We did Birkenau today. And now I'm doing a 6-hour pub crawl tonight. Ups and downs happen in life. But when you wear no pants, there's only one thing you got left to lose. And it's your shirt. Stick around. More fun times to come. We got 2 more days here, plus the trip home. Have a great one. Bye!